Hey guys, welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Bruce and today I want to present the tank which offers the most flexibility in World of Tanks. And no, it is not this one. So which one is it? Let's find out in this video. Of course, I am talking about the new French Tier 11 medium tank, the ASXX40T. Many people think that this tank is lackluster compared to the Tier 10 Badger 25T, at least tier for tier. Since two videos, which are linked right here, I try to convince the player base that this is not true. Because if you overcome the two main weaknesses of this tank, you end up with a tank which has lots of strength but no weakness whatsoever. So what do I mean? In order to find out, let's take a quick look at the fantastictanks.gg webpage and compare the ASXX40T to the Badger 25T on tier 10. So I'm using the effective value, so 100% crew plus the commander's bonus. You can see the Badger 25T without any equipment and without any consumables. Here you can see the non-upgraded ASXX40T, once again without any equipment and without any consumables. Here you can see the tank how I play it. So the ASXX40T non-upgraded, but simply with a bond vertical stabilizer and also with an exhaust system. And then finally here you can see the fully upgraded tank with coated optics, with a bond vertical stabilizer, with exhaust system, and also with premium consumables, so like I play this tank. And yes, many people complain that the ASXX40T does have two main weaknesses, one of which is the poor gun handling, so 0.19er dispersion while moving and while turning the tank is actually pretty lackluster. So is the stationary camo with only 11.12 compared to the fantastic 16.87. So if you play those two base tanks, then the Badger 25T is a sneaky autoloader medium tank and the ASXX40T is not. Well, if you add those two types or those two pieces of equipment, then things change drastically, because you get the fantastic gun handling of the Badger 25T, but you still have all those sweet advantages of the tier 11 tank, plus your stationary camo also increases or is boosted to 17.12, which is now fantastic because all of a sudden you get a sneaky autoloader tank just like the Badger, but upgraded basically in every aspect. Much better DPM, better penetration, better alpha damage. Yes, the shell velocity is kind of on the lower side, but I think this is not too much of a problem. You get the same sweet gun ending, actually slightly better, at least when it comes to aim time. You get a slightly improved mobility. You also do not have any armor whatsoever, and you get a slightly better camo value. So all of a sudden, with those two pieces of equipment, and this is why I recommend to play this tank with the bond vertical stabilizer and also with an exhaust system, you get an improved Badger 25T. So this tank can do everything that the Badger 25T can, just a tiny touch better. Now, if you then further upgrade your tank, you can see the results. So fantastic DPM in an autoloader tank, 420 alpha damage, which is nice. You can deal 2100 damage within 10.4 seconds, which is insanely strong. You get an excellent gun handling, so 0.12 dispersion, 0.09er while turning the turret, and aim time of 2 seconds is actually also pretty damn strong. Now, once again, decent mobility, and then the stationary camo value actually is a mistake. So fully upgraded, this tank is insanely strong. So just for you to prove, if we take a look at the tank as it is in my garage, and if you go to the characteristics of the tank, you can see I get 32.4 stationary camo with my setup and 27.02 camo while being on the move. I don't know what you think about it, but I think this tank is a pretty damn sneaky auto-loading medium tank. So just like I want to play it, I want to have a tank which has an insanely strong firepower, but which is sneaky and which I can play, or with which I can play vision games and outspot other tanks on the battlefield. Alright, first game, we spawn on Ghost Town, and let's first of all take a look at the map and see what options we have. Spawning on Ghost Town in the north with the ASXX40T. In my opinion, you should try to go to this flank right here and play in this position. Not only can you take tanks under fire, which are proceeding offensively onto the heavy position right here, so which are crossing right here, but you can also play vision games against those tanks here and try to win this side of the map. I do not recommend to go to this side of the map simply because this is a very large death area, because there's no cover whatsoever apart from some bushes, but once you get spotted you will most likely get taken out. So the first advantage of this tank compared to a regular autoloader like the Badger 25T is that with the manual control of your reload, you are always ready to take a shot no matter how much your clip has reloaded. So if you want to rush into a position in which you want to take a shot, like in this situation, you can manually stop your reload, and then with a short delay you are ready to fire. So we wait for those heavy tanks. Unfortunately, we bounce on the KR1, which is kind of understandable due to its superior armor, and he just turned around his tank. But yeah, this is a huge improvement over a tank like the Badger 25T, because with the Badger and its about 35-second reload, you are stuck for 35 seconds. So even though you are playing a super mobile and fast tank, you cannot start the engagement before the whole clip is reloaded. And with the ASXX40T, this is not the case. You can start the engagement whenever you want and whenever it is necessary. This is a huge flexibility boost for this tank. Plus, with my setup, I also play a very sneaky medium tank, and so this way I can go into this bush and I can outspot the other tanks which are playing on this flank. If you do not play this tank like I do, you might have a problem playing vision games with this tank, and if you go to this bush you will get outspotted by more sneaky medium tanks, and then you will take damage. So I can recommend, I can only recommend my setup. It works perfectly fine. Alright, so let's see, maybe one shot to the side, and so far I think we have a little bit of bad luck at the beginning of this game. Alright, KR1 is advancing, and I don't know, I do not want to brawl against the KR1 with its godlike armor, to be honest. So my solution for this situation right here is to fall back into the base, basically where the Jagdpanzer E100 is located. I can use the time that it takes to reload to this to retreat to this position to fully reload my clip, and then I will be able to take on the fight. Now the good thing is I did not take any damage so far in the game, which is good. Yeah, but as the KR1 has already been taken out with his over-aggressive push against the hacker and also the Stritzwang 103B, actually it is time to go back into the same position as before. Yeah, that's sometimes how it goes. So about 3 minutes into the game, and so far we only managed to hit once, and yeah, a very poor start of this game. But little spoiler, of course, I would not show this game if it was, let's say, lackluster. So let's see, in this situation I'm happy with simply spotting those tanks. Yes, I know we do not have any arty in our game, but Maybe if he peeks out a little bit further, I can take a shot onto him. So let's see how it goes. And yeah, I think it is mandatory to be able to play vision games with the medium tank. If your tank has a lackluster camo and if you cannot play vision games, then the flexibility of a medium tank is basically gone and you will have a hard time being successful in every map. And with my setup, I actually have the firepower advantage because I'm playing an autoloader tank. I have the flexibility to start the engagement whenever I want because I can discontinue the reload. Most of the times I have my full clip available simply because I can manually reload the remaining shells even though I have a couple of shells left in my magazine. I can also play vision games, plus I have the mobility on my side. So once again, in my opinion, this tank only offers strength, and I would go so far to say that this is one of the best tanks, at least on tier 11, but maybe even tier for tier in World of Tanks. And I simply cannot understand why people think that this tank is lackluster. For me, it works perfectly fine. So let's see, maybe one shot. No, so far, actually, luck is not on our side. So, 5 minutes into the game, only 464 damage. Right here, you can see, once again, the flexibility of this tank. I can simply reload the clip, reload this one remaining shell that I have taken, and voila. With only a couple of seconds delay, I have my full clip available for the next engagement. So far looks like nothing is happening, and so you know what? I think it is time to fall back and to actually help my team to defend the base. So let's use our mobility and let's try to work against the hacker. After all, especially with an autoloader tank, what you want to do is you want to catch your opponents by surprise. You want to appear where you were not expected so that you can catch them by surprise and then maybe even empty your clip onto only a couple of tanks. So yeah, with my good spotting setup I can spot those tanks. Of course I'm spotted, but you know what, let's try to take a shot. Fortunately he does not hit because I keep moving my tank. Now he has a reload of what, about 10 to 15 seconds. So I can empty the remaining clip. All of a sudden 1.8k damage, which is much better than only 464. However, of course, not the result that I want to see in this tank. So let's simply reload the clip. Jagdpanzer E100. Okay, hacker is driving into this little tunnel. Maybe he tries to engage the Hirschkäfer, but you know what? This gives us the chance of catching the hacker by surprise and attacking him from the rear. So I have my full clip available. He's down to being 2-shottable. So let's see. And okay, bounce the first shell. Super unfortunate, but we can nonetheless kill him with a fire. Let's reload our clip, and the game is actually still pretty close, but we could increase our damage to 2.8k, and so far we still have a good chunk of HP available for the remaining game. So now it is time, in my opinion, to play a bit more aggressively and to use our firepower advantage to maybe clip out one or another tank. First of all, I want to play vision games on the right flank again. It would actually be kind of cool to take out the KR1, which is down to being what, 2-shottable. But so far let's go to this side of the map and see where the adversary tanks on this flank are playing. Maybe it is time to, yeah, push out the M48. And also, let me see, so the Stritzwang should also be in this position. Maybe, maybe he's in this bush, so what can we do? I think we need to make an aggressive move. And we need to try to win this flank. Because then we... once we clear this flank, we can then turn into the middle and simply help our team to win the game out there. Okay, so let's do it. Yeah, there is the Stritzwagen. You know what? I think it is time to simply push through, because there should not be any tank left at the rear of the map. Okay, he kills my... okay, super unfortunate. As he kills my gunner, my gun becomes much more imprecise, and so I do not take this shot. Now I can kill him. He takes a shot onto me. Stritzwagen, nice, is tracked by our opponents, and so we can simply empty our clip. We have to reload. Now, okay, that's super unfortunate. Maybe he takes another shot onto us. No, we get the shot by the KR1, but fortunately he is unable to kill us. We have managed to increase our damage to 4.2k damage, but this was not as I expected it. And actually we were super lucky that we did not get taken out in this situation. But anyway, we've managed to clear this flank. The Stritzwagen 107 has retreated, and so it is time for us to fall back and to try to concentrate onto the middle, onto the KR1 and maybe the Shakal. So let's see how it goes. Hacker maintains in this position, which is fine. Jagdpanzer E100 is still full HP, so kind of funny. A triangle never moves. Alright, so our Stritzwagen is making pressure. Maybe if he engages the KR1, we can catch him by surprise, open up a second line of fire, and then actually take him out. So that's the dream scenario for us in this situation. Of course, it's a bit risky because there could be the Shakal already falling back. And so, you know what, I think we have to move in. Here you go. That's okay. Here you go. We can track him. Nice. And reload is on our side. Nice. So we can kill him. 5k damage. Let's fall back into cover and let's reload our clip. Once again, I simply adore this flexibility that you have with this tank. It's fantastic. Alright, and let's go into the middle and let's find an angle so that we can take the Shakal under fire. Alright. Okay, I'm spotted. Alright, I'm spotted. So the Stritzwagen 107, yeah, he has actually just taken a shot onto me. Looks like he has not fallen back into the K4 position as I expected, but somewhere else. So maybe actually into this bush right there. So I cannot peek out of cover, unfortunately. I wanted to empty my clip onto the Shakal, but that's how it is. So I think I need the hacker to make pressure and to spot the Stritzwagen 107, which I think is in this bush right here. So I can help him, but I cannot peek out of cover because then I will get taken out by the Stritzwagen 107. Alright, 5k damage so far in the game, and I think this game pretty much showed the flexibility of this tank. And due to the fact that I play this tank with the Bond vertical stabilizer, here he is, I have this pretty decent gun handling, plus due to the fact that I play this tank with an exhaust system, I have a very sneaky tank, and I can play vision games just like in a Badger 25T. So 5.2k damage, pretty decent result in the AS XX40T. Alright, second game. This time we spawn on Lakeville in the north, and let's first of all take a look at the map and see what options we have. Spawning on Lakeville in the north with the AS XX40T, I recommend to go to the city because in the valley you actually need a tank with good armor with which lets you play hull down in this position right here. So with the AS XX40T, I recommend to go to the city, and then there is this nice bush here that you can use with multiple tanks. Actually not a bush, but you can knock down a tree, giving you the first spot and then also the first shot advantage against tanks which are approaching in this position right here. Furthermore, I think this side has an advantage when it comes to winning this side of the map, so this city right here. And so in my opinion, this is the way to go and to start off the game on this map. So standard build in this tank, and of course I want to go to the city simply because I'm not a hull down brawler, which you need in order to work in the valley, at least work successfully in the valley. Plus I think the city is super important, and we have an advantage when it comes to the spawn, in my opinion, because I think this side of the map is just has the better spawn when it comes to winning the city. So my game plan is kind of standard. I want to knock down this tree right here and then hide behind it, kill this this truck here, and due to the fact that I have the flexibility of manually reloading one shell of my clip, I can do so in this tank just like as if I had a cyclic firing gun. But keep in mind, you cannot do this in your Badger 25T. Alright, so there is a Manticore, so can we take a shot onto this tank? Let me see, maybe here. No, he's actually hiding behind the rock, so let's go back into this bush here, or behind the knockdown tree, and wait for tanks to arrive. Excellent, that's what I want to see. So I'm taking a shot, I fall back because I expect him to return fire, which he actually did. And then we can take a second shot because we're not spotted. So excellent start. Let's fall back a little bit, and now here's the flexibility of this tank. So I can fully reload my clip. I can basically manually start the reload, and so in a relatively short period of time I have the full clip available. And with my full clip, yeah, I have the firepower advantage on my side, because keep in mind, for a period of time, or for the time it takes to empty my clip, I have an insanely strong firepower. Let's track him, nice, and I can take him out without even losing any HP, because we can catch him by surprise. So I know this is the strength of an autoloader tank, just like in the Badger 25T. However, with this tank you have manual control over your reload, and you can be ready to do such an engagement, or to commence such an engagement much easier and much earlier than compared to the Badger 25T. Alright, so let's go here. We are already fully reloaded, which is excellent, and let's see whether we can take a shot. The game is on the winning side, and to be fair, we need to hurry up so that we also collect assisting damage. Let's now take a shot. Nice first shot, and okay, this one did not hit, but now once again I have the flexibility to continue to reload my clip, even though I haven't shot all the shells in my magazine. And so within only a couple of seconds I am back with a full magazine to commence the next engagement. So looks like the game is already won, so we need to play aggressively in order to make more damage. So far 2.4k damage, now it's 2.8k, and let's see what we can do within only a couple of minutes. So of course I do not want to lose 1000, what is it, 700, 800 HP, so let me hide here. I have 3 shells in my magazine, so now take a look at what is happening in this game. He is taken out, excellent, and so I want to use my remaining shells. I take a shot by the Leopard 1, which is fine, and now all those tanks are hiding behind this rock here, which is fine. Now I want to fight against one tank, not against all 3, so first shot onto the Leopard 1, nice, and second shot, okay, unfortunately we bounce on the upper side of the turret, which can actually happen, and third shell. Alright, now I need to go into the reload, 3.9k damage, and now of course I need to fall back. I still have support of my team in case of the Manticore and also the Borkenkäfer, so let's fall back so that the Leopard 1 actually bounces, so now it's kind of equaled out. Bad luck on my side and also on his side, and now as I have reloaded 3 shells, now the ASXX is approaching, but I can manually stop my reload, and thus I have enough shells in my magazine to not only kill the ASXX40T, but also the Leopard 1. Excellent. Now my reload starts, but I can limit my reload to only 1 shell, so that I have 1 shell left to kill the Stritzwang. So out of this mode, and I can kill the Stritzwang. I don't know what you say about this tank, but in my opinion, this tank is super flexible, and this tier 11 special features or special mechanic of this tank does make this tank oh so stronger compared to other auto-loading tanks. And if you can get rid of the 2 weaknesses, as I showed you at the beginning of the replay, then you basically have a wonderful tank which has no weaknesses whatsoever. And finally, third and last game. This time we spawn on Mountain Pass, and let's first of all take a look at the map and see what options we have. Spawning on Mountain Pass in the north with the ASXX40T, you have several options. You can go to this position right here. However, keep in mind that you do not have any armor whatsoever, and you need to frontally brawl against those tanks right here. You can start off the game a bit more defensively out of this position right here, or you can once again brawl with your heavy tanks on this side of the map. But in my opinion, due to the fact that this tank does not have any armor on this map, I would go for a more defensive approach. Alright, so yeah, on this side I want to start the game a bit more passively with the ASXX40T, due to the fact that I have seen so many games in which the adversary team used tanks like the KR1 to push rapidly into the J3 position, and then maybe also into the H2 position. So instead I want to discontinue my reload and be ready to fire on 2 tanks which are crossing over there. So once again, simply showing us the decent flexibility of the ASXX40T. I just went out of the zoom, and thus I was not ready to take a shot, but instead I can take a shot onto the adversary Hirschkäfer, the tank which is pretty lackluster when it comes to camo value. And so let us see, maybe we can spot him again. I still have 2 shells in my magazine that I can use to okay, here you go, maybe take a shot onto the Taschenratte. No, actually it doesn't work out. I'm spotted, so I need to fall back, and then I want to use the remaining shell in order to take one last shot, and then I think it is time to relocate and to see what option develops. I do not want to, here you go, I do not want to play on the right side of the map from our perspective, so not on the J2 position where the BZ79 and the BZ75 are playing, simply because I do not want to brawl frontally against overpowered heavy tanks like the KR1. So you know what, let's take this blind shot, let's reload the clip, and let's go to the left hand side, because if you take a look at the minimap, you can see that our team is pushing on the E9 position, and maybe I can help out my team on this side of the map and actually manage to break through and to, yeah, win this side of the map. So let's drop down right here. Of course, in the meantime, we can reload our clip. Let's be super cautiously. Excellent. Sorry. And you know what? My game plan is actually to break through. So to then attack those tanks from the rear. We of course have to watch out for the Concept 5, which is still in this position. Maybe another TD. There's, yeah, here's an Hirschkäfer now also spotted. He has just taken a shot, so this is my time to break through. Yes, I can take a shot by the mouse, which is nice. I can take one shot onto the Type 5 Heavy, and now I can even fall back into this position right here. As I said, break through and then take those tanks under fire from the rear. So this is what I want to do, because then we can manage to crack those 2 behemoth tanks and simply win this flank. Mouse is turning the turret, but I can take one shot and then fall back into cover so that he does not have any chance whatsoever. And I think meanwhile I can take the Hirschkäfer under fire so that he needs to retreat. Yeah, but you know what? From here I can also take a shot onto the Type 5 Heavy. Nice. And you know what? Let's... Yeah, nice. Let's see. Maybe I should try to concentrate onto... No, I think it is time to take out the ASXX40T. Keep in mind that I'm using the cover of this rock to not be susceptible to fire against the... or from the Hirschkäfer. And of course it is beneficial for my team to take out this auto-loading tank, because I do not want to allow him to reload his clip and then take our team under fire, because he will be easily be able to take out multiple tanks from our team. So far we managed to take we managed to make 2.3k damage. Unfortunately, as the map has been reworked, there are not many bushes on this position, so you cannot easily move into the adversary base, which is super unfortunate. Let's reload the clip and let's take one shot onto the... am I spotted? Yes. And I don't even manage to take a shot onto the Hirschkäfer. Okay. Super unfortunate and super bad played by myself. I did not make any damage and I got spotted, so let's reload the clip so that we have maximum firepower available in case they will push us out. Okay, so Object 705 Alpha, let's see how that one goes. Maybe I can brawl against the AMX 50T. Meanwhile, I want to turn around my tank. So to... okay, there's the Gorilla 15. Okay, here's the Leopard 1. Yeah, he takes a shot onto me, but I can at least take one shot in return. And let's take a shot onto the the MX-50B. Sick. Okay, he can also take a shot onto me. So the trades are not working out perfectly fine in this situation. At least we are able to increase our damage to 3.6k. And oh wow, the Object 705 Alpha is down to being one-shottable. And as there's only a light tank playing alongside with me or with us, I think we need to run. The game is still relatively close, so we need to run and we need to hide from the AMX-50B. Nice, we can take a shot onto him, and now let's run. And his gun depression is enough to take a shot onto us, so now we are down to being one-shottable. So we need to run and we need to leave the scenery and retreat in order to stay alive. Meanwhile, of course, we can reload our clip and be ready for the next engagement. Leopard 1 is chasing us down, so we need to hurry up. Hopefully our team can help us out, and if I go into the middle, I should have the fire support of my team once they peek around the corner. So looks like Leopard 1 is going to the middle, which is nice. Excellent. That's what I want to see. And I want to go all the way back into this position so to not get taken out by those tanks. Meanwhile, we can enjoy the fantastic sound of the Leopard 1 after the 2.0 upgrade or update of the game. And you know what? Maybe I can play vision games, but I think I want to turn around my tank in order to have more gun depression available. Keep in mind that the gun depression is limited over the rear of the tank. And nice, of course, if the BZ... There you go, and bam! I can take a shot onto the Leopard 1, nice. And fall back into cover, 4.8k damage. And nice, he's taken out. So BZ-79 should take a shot from the Concept 1, and then we can simply aggressively push. Yeah, dude, just keep advancing. You have 600 and what is it, 60 HP remaining. And the Concept 5 does have an alpha damage of 460, so he will never ever one-shot you. Sorry. Yeah. That is what I want to see. Unfortunately, Concept 5 is down to being one-shottable. He's now taken out of the game, so we actually need to hurry up. And once again, I think this game showed the flexibility of this tank. With the ASX 40T, you get a super mobile tank, a tank with which you can play vision games, a tank with a superb 5-shell autoloader gun. You can manage to get a decent gun handling, as you saw from the beginning of this video. And all in all, there's really nothing at all to complain about this tank, in my humble opinion. So if I was you, I would go for the Badger 25T and get this tier 11 tank into your garage. It is fantastic. So of course I want to catch him by surprise. Yep, just like in this position. Excellent. It's down to being one-shottable, so I can take him out. Excellent. And voila, 5k damage, 1k assisting damage, so 6k combined. And as you saw in the previous games, it's relatively easy to make damage in this tank. Plus you're super flexible. And so yeah, all in all, it's simply fun to play. It's a phenomenal tank. Okay, we bounce this shell, but we cannot get any more damage. Yeah, ASX 40T in a nutshell. Once again, fantastic tank. I can really recommend it, and I cannot understand why people say that this tank is bad at all. Alright guys, that was it for today with the video about the ASX 40T. Do you like this tank? Have you tried out my setup for this tank? How was your experience once you managed to transform it into a sneaky autoloader? Just leave a comment in the comment section down below. And as always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up or hype the video. You can hype the video multiple times. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. If you find this video extremely helpful, then feel free to support me via super thanks. This way you can make a one-time donation. You just have to click this button underneath the video. If you adore this channel and you want to consistently support me, then consider subscribing to my channel or become a member once again with the click of a button underneath the video. Thanks a lot, and I see you next time in another World of Tanks video.